I think the big one for me coming into this is like when I watched PSG Talon's games, they're incredibly good at, hey, we want to reset on time, we want to set up our mid waves and set up our waves states correctly for our objective setup and get in towards dragons. And with a composition like PSG, advantages, so I'd be surprised if PSG really want to try and contest this.
Oh, low, they get the root down, they get the knock up as well. Level 6 hit, the Cataclysm comes in for Junja. He does get the knock up at the back of it. There's a slightly Maelstrom, but it only really lands onto one. And now they can turn and burn for this fight. First blood finally goes over to Sayo. Nice knockback here from Miru as he gets on top of two. The Pop Blossom is decent, but there's no damage right now. The resets are coming in. Double kill for Sayo. R7 are doing well in the early game.
Goes awry.
Sayo doesn't have flash or heal, doesn't have his arcane shift either, and that's a shutdown there. Just not expecting. It comes about those team fights. Audi, he's going to get jumped on here. Will not have a huge amount of damage thrown onto him just yet. They've invested 2 ultimates. There's going to be Minoru coming back on top of this one here, though. Junja immediately flashing after the fact to try and make sure he stays alive, but he does get taken out. Woody can't get the root down. TP's coming in. That's going to be the Kennen trying to or Maple, excuse me, coming in afterwards. Minoru cannot just be walked over this. Audi gets a reset. Will not get the flick back, and they will trade back 1 for 1. So it's a little bit of a scrappy one there for PSG.
So careful.
Yeah, needs to be very, very careful. That mid lane going down could be huge. There's a Pop Blossom.
Oh my
the
God.
3. The flash is good, but can they get the damage afterwards? They do get Sayo. The bomb comes in straight afterwards. A slice and dice will get him back over the wall.
As Ozzy will push on top is moving down.
Yeah, Audi might have to use his own ultimate there. Not quite sure what happened there with the hook, but he misses it completely. The Pop Blossom on the 2. No Jungler now available. Flick back is decent on the Junja, but there's just not the damage right now from the Celia. Line's just gonna get taken out, and this is starting to change the momentum of the game. Oh, interruption. That's there's still a flash and a Cataclysm for Junja, but I think he's just, the nice little bit of movement. Had himself the Gore Drinker for extra healing, but gets taken down, heartbroken, and this is where you're going to try and thrive. There. Void Staff for Miru, who's going to try and make use of it right now. The Pop Blossom, just a delay. Double up in that one there. Doesn't get the flick back on top of that one. Good flash away from Miru and by Bong. They're looking for an engage in the mid lane, though, as we see Junja and the rest of the team looking for more. They get the knock up here, and the charm coming out from the Rakan. A shutdown comes out. Bong finally gets himself a little bit more redemption as he looked for a little bit more in this mid lane. Sayu and Audi just can't do the damage. It's a 2 for 1 in the mid lane. Overall, a 2 for 2.
So at the moment, you can see both teams kind of in that stalemate and nobody really wanting to commit.
Don't know why he's there, but he's getting all the damage. He got the root as well. They walk straight into the feathers, and that's all they needed to do. Now you can see a fight on 2 fronts. They are getting damage down. Bong still keeping himself alive. Nicely done with the Pop Blossom, though. And that's a clean enough fight for the side of PSG. They lose 1, they get 4.
R7 going to move over towards the dragon. They'll get it, but what else would they get?
What else can they get? Junja tried to do a little bit of a drive-by. Does get the Cataclysm out. Sayo just going to get himself away from this one here. Stopwatch used by Junja means he won't get any more damage done onto him. And R7 are kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. They need to get themselves out. Audi doesn't have flash and ultimate because he used it last time. He will be sacrificed, and now Woody tries to go for a little bit more. Sayo, no flash, but does have the arcane shift. They're just poking them out right now, and everyone backs themselves away. He can't even walk forward because he just always has 6 or 7 feathers dotted around the place.
Yeah, and look, with that, as soon as Ozzy shows up, they're like, cool, we're going to be totally fine to take this. Can't really do particularly much.
No, feathers do go flying. Wacko does get hit by the ultimate, but I mean, they're turning it all back on the Lions, who is ignited, getting taken so low. Is he? Yes, tick down Woody, finishing that one off in a little bit of supportal combat. And I mean, it's so difficult now to get this damage to stick, and they've got minions, they've got Baron, they might look for the end. They're going to go in, Cataclysm goes in straight away. There's the Pop Blossom down on the 2. They're just using these ultimates to try and stop everyone from dying, and Wacko just feeling untouched. Unfavorable in this fight is he, but PSG are going to be getting themselves the first win of Worlds 2023.
They pat in the KDA, they'll take down the Nexus, and PSG, you can see, smiles, but mostly relief, I think.
Right, so you can just take them away completely, get the all out, get them isolated into a 1v1, and then all of a sudden you're in a much better position here as R7. PSG, though, they have plenty of options, like you said, plenty of poke. It's going to come down to shot class over the side here, so they could be very, very caught out as I can see them now go for it, but they're getting a lot of damage on the Wacko. The feathers don't come back just yet, though. The turret's still doing damage. First blood goes over. It's a 1 for 1. Both supports picking up kills. They are going to be able to kind of move themselves away. Bit of Spider-Manning. They will get the double knock-up, but a root underneath the tower is not ideal. Sayo gets crashed backwards. Not quite able to get the root. That's just an easy little pickup here for the bot lane of PSG. They're going to look for a flash here onto the mid lane. They're going to try and jump in on top of this one. It's a good hook there to try and bring back Junja, but the shockwave, as he got knocked back, Miru is going to fall to this ignite. That's Woody already picking up his second kill of the game. But now kind of turning that from top lane, or sorry, from mid lane to top lane. Now we are going to see Bong just getting rooted down. Didn't get the CC away from it. Tried to goes all out. Tries to get him underneath the tower. It was almost a good thing, but Miru just TP in. Now trying to find out where this Rumble is going. Will be able to eventually find him, you imagine, but taking a fair bit of damage by ignoring Junja. There's the shockwave. Does finally land, and they will be able to trade back 1-for-1. Good flash. So be in a lot of trouble here. Needs to walk forward a little bit, but no, just get hit up. There's going to be a TP straight away. They're tanking the turret straight off it. The shockwave does come down, but it's just too easy. Movie ends, but this time Miru is also going to go for it. Shockwave comes in just to delay it, but it's the same result every time, and again Bong comes in just to find his laner. They don't, and PSG are just comfortable.
Yeah, I mean at this stage, hang on, engage.
Yeah, engage comes in, they're going to get the ultimates out, but can they get the damage in? That is the question. The Nautilus goes down, the turret finally goes in, Oni does flash away, the shockwave good to catch Wacko, but I mean he just gets himself the Gale Force to get away from this one, and yeah, look at the health bars, like they did nothing comparatively, and it just feels like R7 are just in an isolated situation. 4,000 HP onto this Baron. Yeah, PSG do not want the 50-50 just yet. They're going to just keep peppering down these damage, and they know they can go for Bong because he's going to have to go all out. Junja takes a hell of a lot of damage, but he's able to walk away just at the last seconds. Everyone's just kind of moving in. It's a little bit of a 1v1 on the top side there as Lions joins back in. And now the Rumble's very isolated, not with his team. He may have to try and get out of this by his own, but he doesn't have flash. He has nowhere to go, and he's overheated, which means he goes down. Bong picks himself up the first.
It feels kind of like the end of a Cooking Mama level, where you're like, everything is on fire. We're just running around trying to manage whatever we can. And yes, the level ticked over, and they've managed to survive, but now it gets more difficult.
Well, that's a Moonlight Vigil that doesn't really go anywhere. They're moving on to Junja now. They're going to have to commit more ultimates here. Shockwave, sombreros onto nothing, and now they can turn and burn back on because Seo's dead as well. You've no consistent DPS, R7. They thought they had found someone to kill off, but they end up losing. What's going to happen there? Like, I don't understand it. You're not really throwing it. They're panicking, and it feels bad, but finally they look to try and make a play. But again, onto Junja, the tank. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it, but now the knockups into the charm. Seo's already lost his Featherstorm. And can they try to burn this one? Finally, a good hook lands, but they've already got the stopwatch from Maple, so he can delay it. This is 4 versus 5. The Rumble isn't even here. The Rumble's not even looking to join. 4v5, and PSG are burning them down. Wacko goes forward, and they're all being taken out. Yes, the shockwave comes in onto one, but it's just too little, too late.
Or 7, and deny them that opportunity at the 2-piece on the international wins.
I mean, PSG were the favourites coming in. Game 1, R7 definitely showed a bit of life. Game 2, they just looked lost, floundering. PSG got themselves warmed up, got themselves back into the series, and really put down the herd. Really well done there from PSG. And they get themselves the expected result, and expected how they got it as well.